everyone. A bonus episode. We got a bonus episode tonight. Unfortunately, no Tucker Shaw tonight, only Pat Ruffino, and we get you a little bonus episode. And the reason why we have a bonus episode tonight is because this comes straight to my heart. This comes straight that my man, Derrick Johnson, from the Kansas City Chiefs will be released. They were going to void out his contract. They were getting rid of him, and I felt that I needed to say something because even though only 6 people listen to this show, just kidding, it varies. It does vary. I need to get this off my chest because Derrick Johnson, first round pick since 2005 out of the University of Texas, my favorite program, is no longer a Kansas City Chief since 2005. So let's get to it. This is the Leatherman Jacket with your host, Pat Ruffino, and unfortunately, no Tucker Shaw. Sponsored by Kilo Charlie Clothing, veterans-owned apparel company. I know. There's a lot of veteran-owned apparel companies out there. But you know what? If you're in the Midwest, they'll do your logos, they'll do your designs, they'll do whatever you need. They'll get it done because that's what veterans do. Kilo Charlie Clothing, St. Louis, owned and operated by an Army veteran and his brother, and a furry Marine vet as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. So good evening, everyone. Tonight is a beautiful Valentine's Day, and my lovely, lovely girlfriend allowed me to do this show tonight. A little 15-minute, in between. We did the movie, we did all that good stuff, but she's a Chiefs fan. I'm a Chiefs fan. She knows what was on my mind. About ESPN reported about a day ago, less than 24 hours, Derrick Johnson will not be returning to the Chiefs. Well, this kind of scares me a little bit as a Chiefs fan. One, he's ruptured both Achilles, so that is something. He's 35 years old. He had one more year left on this contract, but now you're leading the way to a defense stalwart with Eric Berry coming back from injury. Yeah, that's great, but still, there's a leadership in those intangibles that he has. Well, the scary part is that he does not. Or not he, but the Chiefs do not have that backup in place, and they don't have a first-round pick as well because they gave that up for the Patrick Mahomes pick. So where do we go from this, Kansas City? What are we doing about this, Kansas City? Well, getting rid of the leading tackler for our Kansas City Chiefs over the last, will be 13 years, Derrick Johnson, as I said, 15th overall pick out of UT. He's put up almost 1,200 tackles, 28 sacks, 23 forced fumbles, 14 interceptions, and 4 defensive touchdowns, 4-time Pro Bowler, first 2011 All-Pro. Definitely one of the greatest defenders next to my main man, DT, Derek Thomas, in Kansas City history. So this is obviously a major void in the defense. Well, I'm not okay with it. I'm a little, I'm uneasy. It doesn't make me feel good. And because like I said, there's nothing backing him up. I was like, you can give Reggie Ragland the snaps. Okay, Reggie Ragland, second round pick out of Alabama, first year with the Chiefs. Took a while to get on the field, but not terrible. Other than him, there's really no one else. Terrence Smith, do they resign? Maybe. Ramik Wilson, Kevin Pierre-Louis, all these guys, inside linebackers. But it seems that your first-round pick has to be, your second-round pick, or you're going to make a trade. It's really all you can do. This is a guy who, for years upon years, usually pretty healthy most of the time. Obviously, in 2014, that was the ruptured Achilles, and then he ruptured it last year as well. Ruptured it, I believe, in week 14 or 13. I know it was against the Oakland Raiders, so there is now a major void. Well, our defense this year, the Kansas City defense, was pretty terrible. We weren't the strong. It was an offensive-led team this year, and pretty much we saw the struggles. We put up points upon points, and we lost games because of it. Uh, it's a very big void. And even though Derrick Johnson isn't the same player he was even a year or 2 years ago, uh, it's an unfortunate circumstance. And over the last 13 seasons, we've seen him on the field and whatnot. Uh, yeah, maybe the Chiefs have been planning for this since the beginning of the season, picking up Reggie Ragland. They traded DJ Alexander for Kevin Pierre-Louis. So there are a lot of things. He is old, but you would think maybe there'd be a second round pick that you could transition into that role of being that stalwart linebacker, or maybe at least a stopgap to get in to the next guy, to the next player. Uh, I'm trying to and now comes the emotional side of it. Was this a Brett Veach move? Did Clark Hunt not want to do this? It obviously it was coming to an end, and Derrick Johnson is extremely loved in Kansas City, extremely loved in Austin as well because I've been there. I've been able to see him. He's huge, lots of love towards the UT, and he's able to bring some of that Austin love up to Kansas City because I knew plenty of Chiefs fans when I lived in Austin. So it is unfortunate, but this is a business, and now it's time for him to move on. And now we kind of want to get where he's going to go. So where do you think Derrick Johnson's going to go? That could be anywhere, really. Maybe it'd be funny to see him transition over to the Broncos. They could always use a middle linebacker, a veteran. That defense could be a really cheap pickup. He wasn't scheduled to make crazy amounts of money this year. Obviously being older, you can probably work with that a little bit. So it's unfortunate, and I know I'm repeating myself, but guy's been there since 2005, man, and he took a couple pay cuts and whatnot. Only made around 5.7 last year, and was only scheduled to make around the same amount this year as well. So we'll see. We'll see what bodes well for Derrick Johnson. Lots of appreciation from Kansas City, Arrowhead Nation, but time to just buckle down, and hopefully Reggie Ragland becomes a player as well. At least the Bills thought he would be. Now, and he did play well in some games. He got better, more experience. Obviously, he was hurt last year and whatnot. That's why I was more surprised why the Bills traded him, because when a guy gets hurt like Reggie Ragland with a lot of potential, it could be a really big upside. That's what I feel. He's a huge upside, but doesn't they obviously thought different up there. Now that being said, we're trying to get younger. What does this mean for Tamba Hali? Tamba Hali's got one more year on the Chiefs. Tamba Hali's contract, is coming up soon. So is he going to get ready? Are we going to see D Ford wasn't healthy this year, had 10 sacks a couple years ago. Where are we looking at right now with D Ford? Derrick Johnson, will he take another pay cut? Derrick Johnson took a pay cut on his last contract. He signed a 3-year, $21 million contract, swiped it down to his 2-year, $10 million contract, and it's definitely the youth movement is where it's at right now, and come to see, Alex Smith is gone. They got rid of Jamal Charles last year. It's definitely the tides are changing, so it could be definitely something different. And with Tamba Hali coming around, he's 34 years old, been in the league since 2006, 20th overall out of the Pennsylvania State University. He is scheduled to make a hefty chunk this year of about $7.6 million. So, which includes a roster bonus if they don't cut him yet. So is he the next on the chopping block? I don't know. I think he is. I think you bring G Ford in there to take that spot over full time. Uh, Zombo's got another year left with the team, even though I am utterly disappointed about him getting blocked by a by Marcus Mariota. Well, no one could stop Marcus Mariota, so it is definitely something. The Chiefs will be hit. They have an out, about $1.7 million if they cut him before the league year and whatnot. So, and then they'll owe him that much. But he only appeared in 5 games. Only made one tackle. I think what he's most noted for 2017 was helping Joey Bosa with some techniques. Another guy, man, freaking great presence on the team. Been there since '06. Was there for the Castle years, the Smith revival, even some Damon Heward and Brody Croyle, Tyler Thigpen, all these scrubs that we've dealt with, and it was great. I'd love to see them both get rings, obviously, but I don't know where Tamba could go. He just looks so old and so haggard on the field that it just didn't even look like he could move. Maybe he goes to San Diego, helps Joey Bosa out as a on-field coach, but that's pretty much it. The Letterman Jacket crew. Real short show. Might do another one in a little bit, depending on Tuck. But we'll try to knock out some more episodes. A lot of things happening in the NFL. The off season is totally busy right now, and really appreciate the love we've been getting. The community has been growing slowly, but it is growing. Every episode we get a couple more hits and views, and I'm greatly appreciated about that. If you have not yet, please like and subscribe to our channel for the upcoming episodes. Obviously, with more and more work coming in the season and the draft, we'll be doing a lot of content, coming out, and we're going to try to even put out videos daily if need be. Start a Patreon. If you'd love to support us on Patreon, please put hit it in the link is down below. Anything helps. It helps us kind of get more equipment to make this show and editing equipment make it better. But until then, guys, thank you guys for coming and listening. This is Pat Ruffino coming at you live from somewhere in Missouri. Take it easy, guys. Good night.